Hi guys, my name is Irene. I'm from Russia and I'd like you foreigners to know more about us. I promised to list you 10 more habits peculiar to Russians, but indeed I'll give you even 12 more. Let's go! But prior to that, please watch part 1 if you haven't already. It will appear somewhere here on the screen. We don't always stay at home. Sometimes we go outdoors, travel, or pay visits to our friends. Number 11. Smoked chicken breast, boiled eggs, and alcohol drinks. By what are all these items united? The answer is a commuter train or an intercity train. This habit is peculiar to the senior generation and is especially popular in provincial regions. When people go to their summer houses by a commuter train or they visit their numerous relatives and go by an intercity train, they eat plenty of food. Even in case of a short 2-hour trip, our grannies and people in their 50s will open their bags and put everything they've got on the table: chicken, eggs, vodka, sausages, caviar, you name it. When foreigners see how much we pig out during a short trip, they are astonished. But the thing is that we want to save money and we don't want to buy overpriced food in a dining car. But some people are generous enough and they offer treats to their fellow travelers. On top of it, we have our special train culture. We play card games, have heart-to-heart talks with our fellow travelers, sing songs, and don't let other people sleep. Let's move on. Russians are quite poor, unfortunately. Whenever we have vacations, usually we either stay at home or we visit Russian resorts. Sometimes we buy cheap trips to Egypt or Turkey, and for some people it's one in a lifetime event. Women put on their best dresses, people spend money lavishly. And here we come to the second weird habit of ours. Number 12. Right after the landing of a plane, all Russians start clapping. The vast majority of Russians suffer from aerophobia. When the plane lands, Russians sigh with relief and start clapping to the pilot. That's our way to say thank you for the safe flight. In other words, we say, "Hey dude, thank you for not killing us. We are so lucky to have avoided the crash." But the thing is that the pilot can't hear us, so people clap to themselves. And that's very foolish, in my view. I strongly disapprove of it, and each time I hear something like that, I feel ashamed. Number 13. Summer houses. When we don't go abroad, we go to our summer houses during our days off, vacations, or public holidays. Elderly generation even spends the whole summer there. I must admit that our houses are not that luxurious as some of you foreigners may have. Our houses are usually shabby, without pipelines and electricity, so we are even lucky if we have a car and can go there, can reach them by car. But usually we have to put our heavy knapsacks and go there by walking, using a commuter train and some other not so convenient means of transport. When we go to our summer houses, we really do it just for fun. We don't rest there. On the contrary, we go there to have some physical labor. There are vegetable gardens and orchards which need to be taken care of. And also we always have something to repair, like say a rotten roof. Russians also like to go to the forest in order to collect mushrooms and berries. It's kind of a national hobby. Elderly generation even sell what they collect. When I was in Norway, I was shocked with the number of mushrooms and berries I saw. Our guide told us that locals merely don't like to collect them. It's very unusual to us. But sometimes we do have a rest. Such time is called майские праздники, public holidays in May. We have about a week off and we go to the nearest parks, embankments, our summer houses, and for BBQ parties. We call them shashlik parties. Even youngsters don't skip this tradition. So guys, tell me, do you have summer houses? If so, how do you spend time there? I'd love to know. Number 14. Long New Year public holidays. Starting from the New Year Eve, we have a very long public holiday. It's about 10 days. People are degraded. They pig out, consume too much alcohol, sleep till noon. And after this period, when they have to go back to work, they sometimes suffer from depression. Well-off people go abroad, but it's extremely pricey, and not so many of us can afford it, unfortunately. So the majority of us stay at home, don't leave their sofas, and travel from a fridge to a bed. When we get bored with this lazy bone period, we go visit our relatives and friends. I'll link a video here when I tell you about that. So, by the way, guys, tell me, would you like to have such long New Year holidays? I'd like to know in the comments below. Let's move on to the next part of Russian habits. It's devoted to Russian women. Number 15. We avoid addressing to a woman using the word woman. Our gorgeous women get offended when they hear something like that. It is considered to be rude, like you want to mention that a lady doesn't look young anymore, she isn't pretty, and we call all our ladies girls. Like even if a woman is in her 40s, we would say, hey girl. Ladies, please tell me, would you like to be called girls? Another peculiar thing about our ladies is that they use blue eyeshadows, blue eyeliner, pink nail polish, and red lipstick. The tradition goes back to the Soviet Union period when women didn't have much of a choice, but still they have this habit. Number 16. In our childhood, we spend a lot of time with our grandparents. As far as I heard, you foreigners not like that. Your elderly people enjoy life, do sports, travel a lot, learn something new. But our grandparents, especially grannies, babysit their grandchildren, and they don't take money for that. Moreover, they even try to give money to their children, although their retirement pensions are so wee. It's even less than a minimum wage. Many generations have been raised by grandparents. Personally, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. My parents, grandparents, and I lived all together under one roof. And in the summer, we went to the summer house with my late grandma and granddad, where I helped them to collect and eat strawberries, gooseberries, peas, and whatsoever. My grandma used to tell me amusing stories. My granddad and I were sledging. I miss them both. Number 17. Grannies hang out outdoors. Our grannies are kind-hearted, but sometimes they are a bit grumpy. They get together, sit at the benches in the yard and start gossiping. They tell off the youth. They disapprove of tattoos, piercings, swear words, sportive activities, nearly everything. They also scold all passing by moms, and they tell that their kids behave badly. They are badly raised. Russian grannies call each other girls, so they try to still feel young. I think that's very nice. They give presents to each other, honey, handmade stuff, knitted clothing. Speaking of which, Russian grannies are always cold. Even during the summer when it's hot, you can still see a granny wearing dozens of clothing. Russian grannies like to share their recollections of past and to sing songs. And you may have heard of a Russian band that consists of grannies. It's called Buranovsky Babushki. They represented Russia at the Eurovision contest in 2012. Number 18. Handmade canned fruit, vegetables, and jam. Our grannies are frugal, and they want to preserve all the crops they collected from their gardens, and they make these canned products. They present them to numerous relatives, friends, and even total strangers. It's a very good and mouth-watering tradition. Number 19. Husking sunflower seeds. Not only do grannies husk sunflower seeds, but many other people do. And our teeth suffer from that a lot. That was the reason I had to give up this habit. Number 20. Natural homemade remedies. Russians are cautious of doctors, and they try to avoid paying visits to them and use some homemade remedies. They put garlic cloves in the nostrils to help a runny nose. They put tea bags on the eyelids to cure some eye disorders, and they put plantain to an aching organ. In my childhood, my grandparents used to cure me with such peculiar methods, but I also visited doctors, so my family utilized all possible means of treatment. Please tell me in the comments below, do you have any homemade remedies in your culture? Do you use them? Incidentally, Russians prefer not to take sick leaves, and they continue working in order not to lose money. They gamely fight every illness using some homemade remedies, or simply not using anything at all. And now let's move to the last two Russian peculiarities. Number 21. Russian DIY. We prefer to repair everything ourselves. It's expensive and we don't want to pay money to the experts, and we simply think that we know better. So usually this refurbishment, renovation starts when people only buy a flat, but it has no end at all. People devote all their weekends, vacations, and even retirement to the eternal maintenance. Russians adore DIY. We use insulating tape when an item is seriously damaged, and a sticky tape when an item is slightly damaged. We, in our family, also have an example of DIY. Take a look at that. So we use a rope in order to prevent loud noises when slamming the door. Russians are so crazy about DIY that we even had a very popular TV show called Очумелые ручки. If I try to translate it, it would be something like skillful hands.
Сказать тут можно только одно. То, что раньше делалось двумя руками,
теперь делается буквально 2 пальцами.
Дальше. Показывайте фокус, показывайте. Красиво. Хорошо.
Number 22. Russian craziness. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a part of our spirit. Disclaimer. Please don't try to do anything that I'm going to tell you next. It's very dangerous for your life and health. Please don't do this. I strongly not recommend you. I strongly urge you not to do anything of this. So, Russians dive into the ice during the hard frosts. It's a religious tradition. Then some men put light bulbs or jars into their mouths, but the thing is that once put, it can't be taken out easily. So you will need to call an ambulance if you do something like that. And so please don't do this. I'm serious. I won't take any responsibility for this. So Russians are crazy, let them be so, but you'd better think twice. That was it. Please tell me about your national peculiarities and habits in the comments below. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't subscribe to my channel and don't give me a thumbs up in case you haven't enjoyed this video. I'd be very sad, frustrated, and devastated, but I'm a grown-up and I'll deal with it. But seriously, guys, I've got only 3 subscribers and that's so frustrating. I'd like you to subscribe to my channel, to watch my videos, and enjoy the content. Please write in the comments below everything you'd like to learn, what topics I would better tell you about. See ya!